Then mistaken enjoyments. That mistaken enjoyments is being able to watch 5 seasons of 24 nicely, or some kind of great TV show nicely, but then not being able to sit and study the Dharma or meditate every day, that kind of. Then you have a mistaken, you very easily can be entertained. Worldly entertainment, but can't study, meditate, keep your morality. Then that's what that means. Then mistaken compassion. Then this is people who have pity for meditators, like in Milarepa's time. He was a cave meditator. Then he's practically naked, no clothes, not much food, looked disheveled. Then somebody walking by took pity on him. Then having pity for Dharma practitioners who are, live extreme in their practice of the Dharma. Then the main point is having pity for people who do non-virtue. Then a person can be in the world gangster, or then somebody who has to kill people. Then you should have more pity for a person in a non-virtuous, doing non-virtuous deeds, than a person who's doing suffering for the Dharma. Then you shouldn't pity them. Then it's a most holy practice to want to get to Buddhahood, then nirvana, Buddhahood, as quick as possible and not worry about much of anything else. Shouldn't pity them. Then mistaken aspiration. Then, just basically wanting to get the house, the 2 cars, and everything. Having those kind of dreams about, being a billionaire rather than getting to nirvana and Buddhahood. And getting to nirvana and Buddhahood should be the main goal. And then, of course, getting everybody else to nirvana and Buddhahood. Then mistaken counsel. Then people come to you, ask you for counsel, and instead of helping them with the Dharma, which would be more benefit, then you're like, try to teach them something that would just get them caught up in worldly activities. Then mistaken rejoicing. Then this is, we all do it. Then somebody we don't like suffers. Then we sort of are glad that they suffered secretly, or sort of rejoicing in person's non-virtue, rather than rejoicing in something virtuous that you do or other people do. And I think this is a product of us and Christians, really. I don't know, or Catholics, maybe. I grew up Catholic, and there just seems to be a focus on beating ourselves up for being sinners, but there's very little focus on rejoicing in doing virtue. As a Buddhist, you should really look at what you've done in one day and look at a negative thing that you've done and a positive thing, and really rejoice in the positive thing that you've done. Look for it. You generate very positive states of mind. You shouldn't be, I'm best, better than everybody else, but you should very matter-of-factly look at a virtue you've done and take joy in the fact that you've done a virtue. There's no problem with that, being happy that you've done a good deed. Talk to Nigi Tarpa Cha Tokchu means to investigate. Niki means to. Tarpa means freedom, liberation. Cha means use it. Then the translation is free yourself using investigation, analysis. Then this is mainly in meditation when attempting to eradicate the self-cherishing mind, thinking about its faults and trying to cultivate the mind that cherishes others and thinking about that mind's benefits. Then you use your meditative practices, the watchfulness mind, the alarm bell when mental afflictions arise. Then you mainly want to destroy your mental afflictions and your doubt about when you first do Lojong practice. Your self-cherishing mind will first come up and say, this is absolutely crazy. Then there will be tetsong, useless doubt, that immediately comes up. Doubt about the path, doubt about the Lojong practice, doubt about Bodhichitta. Then you have to use your meditative control and your mindfulness and just push that mind aside. Then mental afflictions will come up with various objects. Then with those you have to start cultivating an understanding of emptiness. And of course, every time beneficial minds arise, trying to cultivate those minds. Then compassion, loving kindness, and wisdom. Takche chebang du. Takche means to watch, to observe. Chebang means vows, precepts. Du. Yu ma gong. Yu means being puffed up, conceited. False pride. Ma gong means to cultivate, not habituate, or not meditate, or not have in your mind that conceitedness. Then the translation here is, do not be conceited. Then you see this a lot here in the West. Then they first come to a Dharma teaching. Then Dalai Lama follower and Bodhisattva. Then this is improper quality of your Dharma practice. Then you should not, the slightest good deed, which is of course infected with your self-cherishing mind, most of us, if we're still struggling on the path, then to boast about every little good deed that you do. Then there's no problem with, if you've done a sincere good deed, then rejoicing it and offering the virtue of that to all the suffering beings. That's a good thing.